welcome you back to AUPanthers.tv. This is former assistant coach Jim Pittman sitting with my buddy Mike Kerr, assistant coach with the Panthers, who had a great victory here this afternoon in the Adelphi Holiday Classic, 58-57. I'd like to start this about our conversation we had last evening. You gave me the scouting report on Philadelphia. I got it right here. It said, make it hard for them defensively. Make it difficult for them to get into their offensive sets and contest jump shots. The number one stat that I noticed, Coach, was the field goal percentage for Philadelphia, 32.8%. Great job.
Yeah, thank you. Now, we did a very good job defensively against a very good offensive team. They have quite a few real playmakers and shot makers, along with the big kid who's a load inside. And yeah, one of our goals every game is to keep them under 40% field goal percentage, and 32.8 is terrific. That's a well-played defensive game, so we're happy about it.
You really did a good job on their shooter, Nick Schlitzer, especially in the first half. He was like 1 for 8 in the first half. He got heated up a little bit, but he wound up missing the last shot of the game, which was, if it went in, we would have been losing the game, but as a result, we got the victory. Another key, I thought, was the defensive job you did on Peter Alexis in the second half. The first half, he pretty much had his way off the backboard. What was said at halftime about that?
Well, our biggest stat that we had to focus on at halftime was our rebounding. They had 13 offensive rebounds in the first half. Alexis had 6 of them. Now, he's a real big kid, and he's going to get some. I mean, I thought we did a decent job, Ryan DiNicola in particular, who was guarding him, of boxing him out. But he's 6'10", got long arms, and he's really strong. So he just reached over the top of us sometimes, even when we felt we were doing good. But obviously, that was one of the adjustments, and it wasn't just him. I mean, they had the point guard, number 10, Andre Gibbs, is 5'8". He had 3 offensive rebounds in the first half. Mm-hmm. So our guards had to do a better job boxing out off the perimeter. And I thought in the second half, like you said, I thought we did do a better job of that. We ended up not out-rebounding them as a whole, but I thought the second half we were much better than the first.
One player who had a particularly good game was Anthony LaBroya.
Tremendous.
Talk about that.
Terrific. He's been so good the last few games, and we unfortunately had in our last game another blow by the injury bug.
Yeah, we mentioned that.
In our case, the injury sledgehammer.
Yeah.
So Damon Coleman broke his foot in our last game, and he was our other point guard along with Anthony. Now Anthony's kind of shouldering a lot of the load, and he had such a great game. He was 2 rebounds away from a triple-double tonight.
Yeah, 12 points, 11 assists, 8 rebounds as a point guard.
And handled and really was a big leader and
did a good job guarding Andre Gibbs, the other point guard.
Yep.
I mean, they just got so many weapons, and they reversed the ball so well, as we spoke about last night. Coach McGee's got the biggest playbook in basketball, and you can't show them everything they do, but you got to understand concepts. And I think your guys really understood what you tried to do defensively this afternoon.
Well, you don't got to tell me. I did the scout on Philly. You got the biggest playbook in history. There's no way you could throw everything at our guys in a pregame practice that they do. I mean, and they execute whatever it is they do run. They execute it so well. Mm-hmm. They do such a good job over there as always.
Talk about what I found interesting was the end where Coach McGee used a number of timeouts. Okay, and then the ball went to the baseline, and you guys you discussed it. And then, timeout was taken to try to find out what he was going to do, because they set up their box set real early on the out-of-bounds play. They really kind of showed their hand early, which gave you guys the opportunity to take a timeout and diagnose what they were going to do.
Right. Well, we thought originally, actually, they had it over half court. They called timeout to set something up, and they wanted to get it under out of bounds. So they had to get the ball inside the arc to call another timeout.
Right.
They got it under out of bounds. We expected them to run the play. They have an under out of bounds play that they run where they have one of their bigs take it out of bounds, and he curls off a down screen, and they look for him inside, and then they have a screen and pin down after. So we set that up in our timeout. Once we saw them set up, and one of the guards took it out of bounds in their box set, that's typically a screen-to-screener that they do inside.
Right.
We called timeout, so now we're prepared for kind of either one.
Right.
And, they came out, and they got it to Schlitzer, number 33, who's a terrific shooter, although, tonight I thought we did a good job on him.
Did a great job on him.
And we just kind of doubled it, and, the clock running out, he was trying to he forced a tough shot. I mean, he had to because the time was running out.
Right, and no time left.
And we
you
finally got a lucky roll in our favor.
Yeah, you talked about Nick Schlitzer. We talked last night about it on the scouting report. You said you're going to use Dwayne Morgan on him, a little Greg Davis at times. Just the length of these two gentlemen make it very hard for him to get open looks.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to teach 6'6", and 6'7". So that of course that helps. So they don't have to be so uptight on them. They can give a little bit of space and use their length to contest their shots.
Well, a win like this could really be a big confidence booster for this young club. Tomorrow you have Bloomfield. I'm sure you watched them in the first game. They gave up a lot of points this afternoon against the College of St. Rose. Any quick indication what we might see tomorrow?
Well, hopefully I get in the locker room and there's not too much ice bags flying around. I mean, hopefully we're all healthy and ready to go. It's tough doing back-to-backs against two good teams.
Short turnaround.
And Bloomfield is very different than Philadelphia. They have a rotating bench. They play a lot of guys.
Speed
up
team,
and down,
transition.
Up and down, yep. And we'll be ready. We'll do the scout tonight, and we'll be ready for them. Practice tomorrow morning, and be ready for them in the afternoon.
Well, I'm sure the team feels good about themselves. They deserve to. They had a great effort this afternoon to beat Philadelphia. Final score once again: Adelphi 58, Philadelphia 57. You've been watching AUPanthers.tv.